how entertaining is it when the character is like beaten down, bloody, or like in some type of fight, and they just put a big smile on their face because now it's gotten hard.
We're going to Buff for Love. Oh my, I got chills.
That's the
I got chills.
Oh God, that is the most fun aspect of a fight. Is when the Thrillseeker, like, it is such a fun character motivation.
Next one we have is Revolution. Do you hear the people singing the songs of angry men? There is a song. We weren't going to keep going?
No.
Okay. Welcome back to another Tutor Ramble episode. I am Austin.
And I'm Richard.
Why'd you not do a light voice like me? Why was that so...
I just don't got it in me.
Nope, you don't.
You got that light little voice in you.
Oh, that was so demeaning. That was why'd you add little? Why'd you do that? Okay, we are back with another tier list. We did a tier list some weeks ago, maybe a month ago, where we tier listed tropes. This time, we are tier listing character motivations.
I think a lot of this could be helpful for people who are aspiring writers. They want to hear what real avid readers think about their characters and the motivations that they want to write about.
Yes.
Maybe this will help you. Maybe this will help you pick something out of a hat where you're trying to write a story and what do you want readers to like. And
this is for heroes and villains, anti-heroes, where it's just what compels that character. Yeah. Why do they go on the adventure? What's their drive? And we have this listed, and you have not seen this full list.
No, like most things,
yes.
You prepared everything, and I am here for the show.
You are here to watch.
I'm here to participate.
You're just here to comment and then throw things at me. So we have this tier list up here. Now, last time, if you remember, we changed this up a little bit. We still have our S tier, our A tier, our B, C, D, and F tier. Last time, we had a Rings of Power tier. Mm-hmm. This time, we're switching it up a little bit. We're doing Game of Thrones Season 8.
That is pretty bad. That's worse than Rings of Power.
It's worse than F tier as well. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Game of Thrones Season 8, notorious. Richard knew me when I was the biggest Game of Thrones fan ever. I could not stop talking about it. I had the flags.
It actively made me not want to watch the show.
It ended so horribly.
You were just so positive.
When's the last time you've heard me say good? Even how perfect the early seasons of that show are, I can't even look at them the same. It's so sad. I hate season 8 so much.
It's rough how an ending can actually ruin a perfect series before that.
Man, it really is a shame, but you know what? We're here, and we're going to rank these motivations. And Rich, I want to start with this one with you, okay? Freedom!
I'm a full-blooded American.
Yes.
I got to give it A.
You got to give it A.
I got to give it A. I don't think it's the best one. It's the only thing interesting, I think, about a freedom motivation is where you see how far someone's willing to go for it and the complications. And that's when it gets a little dirty, when you're going like, hey, look, freedom's a noble goal. It's great. Is it worth this, though? Like, how far are you willing to go for freedom? That's a very interesting motivation and story.
Yeah.
And seeing where people value things.
And I mean, Braveheart, obviously.
Yeah.
Braveheart's huge for freedom. I mean, freedom's a good motivator.
It's a good one.
It could be interesting. What's the cost of the freedom? What's the cost to your family?
Well, because if it's just a, freedom story, they do nothing, like, the enemies are doing all evil, nothing good. And then the good guys searching for freedom are just totally justified 100%. Then it kind of is just boring. It's like, well, of course. Black Adam.
Yeah.
Perfect example of it doing it wrong, where everyone's like on board to take out those military guys who are kind of oppressing them.
Uh-huh.
And the whole thing is like, oh, killing is bad. And it's like, you've showed that all of these guys are terrible.
Evil,
and evil oppressors.
It's hard to sympathize.
It's hard to sympathize. Like, get them out. Kill them. Who cares?
They're trying to kill you. They're bad guys.
Yeah, and so the cost of freedom doesn't really...
Right. So it can be done poorly, but the freedom it works so well because a lot of dystopian novels.
Sure.
Freedom's A tier.
A tier.
We're putting it up there. And by the way, if anyone wants to play along, we will have this tier list in the top of the description below, so you guys can check this out and also rank them because we have 55 of these. I don't think we mentioned that. It's in the title though.
And if you actually want to talk to us about what we think on these character motivations, you can actually talk to us in our exclusive Discord, where you can join it with our Patreon down below. We have a movie watch party and a book club once a month. It's a lot of fun.
But there's no freedom there. We rule with an iron fist.
That is true.
Yes.
I like freedom when it's my freedom to do what I want.
Yes, but when you want to dictate,
I respect to a certain degree. I expect when someone takes authority. It's something strange. Maybe I should lower freedom. Maybe I'm not as much of an American.
Well, freedom sucks when you like the authority, right? It's like, no.
That is true.
I like this guy.
That is true. I like freedom because I'm not currently in authority. That's exactly why I like freedom.
Want to move it down one?
I'll move it down when I start getting more authority. When I have, as soon as I gain authority, then my love for freedom just dips.
We'll keep it at A tier for now.
Keep it now, because I am currently a very low level. I don't have authority, so it stays in A.
Going into the next character motivation, would you feel that you're jealous of those with the authority? Jealousy as a motivator. That transition didn't work as well as I wanted it to, but what do you think about jealousy as a primary motivation for a character?
I actually really like it.
Yeah.
Jealousy normally works well for both heroes and villains.
Yeah.
Because it's normally just compelling in general. Because with jealousy, you typically see a person do actions that kind of hinder their own goal if they were just to let their jealousy go. But it's great to see jealousy between rivals. It's a great motivator, especially in the beginning. So I'm thinking B.
You're thinking B. Okay.
What are you thinking?
It's hard to relate because when I surround myself with people like you, there's nothing to be jealous of. So it's like a hard thing to connect to. You get what I mean? It's like if I surrounded myself with admirable people, I could relate to that emotion more.
You found an insult like 3 weeks ago on me that actually works, and you've been using it too much.
Rich was trying to get me to. It's my favorite thing I've ever done. Listen, pride's a sin. Pride's a sin. But this one moment in my life where Rich came up to me and was like, "Man, you really got to start drinking coffee." And he's been doing this for years with me, trying to get me to drink coffee. And finally, I was like, "Man, what can get him to stop?" And he says, "Hey, you got to drink coffee." And I went, "Richard, if you were a man worth admiring, if you were a man that I looked up to, maybe I would take a sip of coffee. But that does not stand right now."
It hurt.
He hasn't asked me since. It was
that
great.
hurt because it's true. I'm like, oh God, I need to look inward and change. Oh God.
But in all seriousness, jealousy is a good motivator. It is. It's a great character motivation of both for a good guy and a bad guy.
Yeah.
So the bad guy obviously being jealous and just being a bad virtue of being jealous. Mm-hmm. But then the good guy, if they're jealous up to their opponent or jealous of someone who's stronger than them, and that's why they start their journey and they're like, "Man, I want to be cool," or "I want to be strong," and then so it could really work. B tier.
Yeah.
All right, B tier, and then we got the next character motivation, justice.
What are you thinking?
I'm thinking this is fine. I'm thinking justice is a big theme. Like justice isn't bad, but justice can be done well.
Us ruling. That's justice.
Dude, I like that. Give me that. I like. Is Red right now happy? Yeah, that's happy.
That's
Red.
happy. Yeah,
okay, good. By the way, we named him Red from Red Rising episode. I got that. Let's go. Yeah, that was me. But yeah, okay. Justice is just us, man. Okay, I probably shouldn't have fist bumped you. It's pretty corny, actually. But what do you think?
Do my best.
Because I think justice is fine. You can have your. You know what makes me lower it a little bit is just the fact that it's in the name Justice League, that movie, and I just don't like the movie.
That's an equally fair point.
I haven't seen Zack Snyder's cut.
Completely valid.
I heard Zack Snyder cut's better, but
it's too long. Yes, it does give you context. It's better, but it sucks to watch a 4-hour movie that just makes it okay.
Okay, I thought you were gonna make fun of Return of the King for a second.
No. That I want to watch 4 hours. It's like this movie does not deserve 4 hours.
You watched the cut.
I did. Okay. I had to watch it in parts too because it's too long.
Man, okay, I need to hear some comments on that. Because is that generally agreed upon? That it's
generally better. It is better because it actually makes sense. Like it's coherent. but I'm not watching a 4-hour movie for just simple coherence.
Got it. You were fine with the movie.
It's acceptable.
And I love how when we're talking about the character motivation, just goes in a completely different direction of again,
to Ramble.
It just
Ramble.
Like, what is Justice League? I mean, it has to do with justice, but the character motivation of justice. What do we think about that?
Thing is, it can be kind of boring sometimes. Like, when I think of justice as a character motivation, it's typically a character wanting justice for an unjust society. Like, wants to tear down the corrupt king, the corrupt nobles, the dictator, whatever it may be. And so that's typically how we see it.
Yeah.
Or if
it's tough to subvert that.
Yeah.
So we're thinking of Fine C?
I guess so.
Okay. Fine C. So we've got freedom, jealousy, and justice all ranked right there. Next one for character motivation. For glory.
What are you thinking?
So the for glory moment, I would say. Can you not look at me like that when I try to be fun?
Yeah, but it's just so hard.
It's honestly, it's not even me trying to be fun. It's like a deep insecurity of me not being good enough.
Oh, yeah. You yourself are not good enough, and so you have to play the part.
It's why I did that whole coffee joke. It's because it's what I think of myself. I don't admire myself enough for coffee.
Works.
So I'm like, what would hurt me would hurt Richard.
That's very
I looked
interesting.
inward, and I went, since we're the same.
Yeah. Basically. Not on the outside.
No.
Very different on the outside.
That for glory moment is like, this is the most depressing glory talk ever.
Yeah, to get on to it.
This is supposed to be for glory. But I will answer the question. So for the for glory moment, I think the glory moment is cool. Like when you have your good guy win and you get that glory. But as a motivator, looking for glory is less interesting than the glory itself. The glory is the side effect of having a different motivation. Did I?
Yes.
Yeah?
Those searching for glory cheapen it.
Yes.
Where if it comes across, when glory comes upon an unlikely hero, it is all the more deserving.
Do you really dislike how much we're disagreeing right now?
I do really dislike it.
Were you thinking like D tier with this or C tier? Because I will go C or D with this, just because the glory is awesome, but as a motivator, I'm honestly D tier.
I think so.
Okay. Oh, you just agreed. That's don't do that again.
God, it's giving me indigestion.
All right, the next character motivator, the Great Reset.
You got to explain that one to me.
So the Great Reset is, I think the most similar one I could think of is Thanos. So the Great Reset is where society, this usually villain sees society is just done. And everything's messed up, we're resetting. Reset the human population, kill half the world, genocide, or they have some solution to reset humanity.
In general,
fake solution, but yeah.
I put it on F. However, I was just thinking about it. I can think of one example where it's done well. Only one that I've actually liked, and that's Lacanus trilogy.
Okay, don't say any more than that.
I guess not, but it's the one time I actually like. It's interesting and makes sense.
Got it.
Things like Thanos, I think it's just not compelling because they're incorrect. And I just don't think there's really any society that is so unjust that it justifies actually just murdering a bunch of people to get what you want. Like, oh, I'm going to remake society in my own image. I'm like, oh, okay.
I think Thanos is compelling.
Yeah, of course you do.
What does that mean?
I'm just calling you stupid.
Well, Thanos, I find him compelling just because as a villain, he makes sense. And as a villain, you see that he cares so much about killing half the world that crying over having to kill his daughter Gamora. So
yeah, but he doesn't understand that the problem with hunger is not lack of resources, it's supply chain
we're going
problems.
Math. Yeah, all right.
Actual general corruption.
Can I cut this out?
You're welcome to do anything you want. You edit all the videos.
Where are you thinking about putting this?
I want to go F, but I'm willing to move it up because I just thought of one good example.
Okay, you thought of one good example, and you got to give it, like, Thanos is not a bad character.
I'm just not that motivated by it. But
can we put it above glory? Just above glory in D tier.
You could have it.
Thank you.
Mainly because you have the mouse.
Yes. Okay. All right. So great reset. Still D tier. It's not like, we're still not.
Yeah,
still not that high. All right. The next motivator is seeking happiness or seeking purpose.
One does not find happiness by seeking it. That's the main issue with that.
That's part of maybe that's part of the arc in the story. That's the motivator. They're looking for happiness.
And they find it through purpose.
Yeah, there you go.
Generally how it goes.
I like a character that is going out there seeking purpose. Or maybe seeking happiness and they find that happiness is their purpose. The purpose is what makes you happy. That's also good.
It's fine. I think B.
I talked it up a bit. I was thinking C. I was maybe right above Justice. You want to go B below
Low
Joe?
B.
Low B. I'll give you that. I'm fine with that. All right. This next one, hidden agenda. So as a motivation,
always good.
We don't know the entire motivation. It's the author, the director, they hide from you. What's this character doing?
That's always a fun one. I like a good mystery because then you can look back and think of all the times that it actually happened or when it was teased. So
I'm going to give you one. Wheel of Time, Moraine, book 1 that I read. It's a hidden agenda.
There's a lot of hidden agendas in Wheel of Time.
Yeah, I imagine.
That's the entire series is hidden agendas. That's the entire series in a nutshell.
I'm going to make you really happy then. I think hidden agenda, as long as when it's revealed, it's actually cool.
That's true.
It can be done bad, but I'm thinking A tier. Well, not our first S because it's not S worthy. And we don't have our first Game of Thrones tier, season 8 either.
No, that's interesting.
What do you think?
We have 55 of these.
Yeah, there are.
We'll find one.
I think Behind Freedom.
I agree with you.
What the hell is going on with you?
I know.
What is wrong with you?
Honestly, I need to find. You know what? I need to pull it out. Just
get in a worse mood or something.
High B.
All right, I'm putting low A. Man, we gotta get something. We have to come fist to cuffs here. All right, the next one is Bound by Honor. Self-explanatory, or
I like this one quite a bit. Normally because it comes with the noble sacrifice. And everyone's telling you are wrong, and there's no reason to, and it's always just so interesting.
You follow this chivalric code.
Yeah.
Did I say chivalric right? Because I remember one episode I said it so wrong. Chivalric.
I guess so.
You've just given up today, haven't you? Bound by Honor, you think that is a good motivation for a character, someone that's seeking chivalry, or just they're bound by the code. They're looking to uphold.
The thing is, they're always a great side character. I'm trying to think of a really good, other than the one we're exactly thinking of, that's a good main character done this way. Like, the one I'm thinking immediately is Dalinar. Bound by Honor.
Okay, yes. That's not a spoiler. Yeah, you could say Dalinar. So Bound by Honor, yeah, because it's not usually with protagonists.
It's like a side character thing.
I still like it a lot.
Yeah.
Maybe B though. Maybe A. I could be convinced.
I think B. Just disagree with you.
Okay, we'll go B. Top of B?
Top of B.
Even above Jealousy. Yeah, it's cool. It's a good motivation. Why not? Yeah. The next one. Do you want to say this?
Hurt in the Past.
Hurt in the Past.
Explain a little bit more. Is this normally like a villain's thing of they were hurt before and so they lash out at the world?
It's more so this one I put this on here just representing your childhood.
Hey, my mom watches this.
I said that for your mom.
I was not hurt in the past. I had a lovely childhood.
No, not your family. It's just every friend that you thought you had.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. No, your family was great to you.
My mom wouldn't let me have Lunchables. I think that's pretty tragic.
Dude, that's a hurt
that was one of the first things I did when I had my own money, like adult money. I was like, I'm buying 10-year-old Richard some Lunchables just for my sake.
How did it taste?
It tasted like freedom.
Wait, do we move freedom up now?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's not an SG.
But Hurt in the Past, what was your question? I completely ignored it. And went
I was thinking of like a villain password. You see this angle where they try to make a sympathetic villain, and it's like they're lashing out and killing all these people because they were hurt in the past. And I really hate when an author tries to do that.
Yeah, so it can go both ways. Yeah, with the villain of being hurt in the past and them trying to explain why what they're doing. So, hurt in the past of they were maybe abused as a child.
Yeah.
And then that makes so if you're abused as a child and that villain is using that pain to do bad things, that could be one angle.
Here's the thing. That can be interesting. The problem is when the author tries to, you can almost tell by how they're writing it where they want you to sympathize or try and justify a villain's actions by saying, oh, they were hurt in the past. And it's very wrong. Like, no matter how much you were hurt in the past doesn't justify at all hurting someone in the present.
It makes it bad when the author tries to justify it. Like, they're actually...
That's when it can feel wrong.
Yeah, I got you.
I mean, you see...
What about for the hero?
Ah.
So hero hurt in the past. They're your protagonist.
Typically,
normally pretty good. That, for
good.
me, works amazing. So I'm with you on the villain part of... That can be done wrong a lot because you can't... It's really hard to redeem someone.
At the very least, redeeming them that way.
No, redeeming them in the, like, they're actually a villain. Whereas, I don't want to get too much into spoilers as well, but there's some Stormlight characters like, hurt in the... I mean, every Stormlight character, no spoilers.
Yeah, no, every character.
They're hurt in the past, but our
protagonists actually fight forward and they don't let their past define them. Or they use it to actually grow as a person.
That's a great motivator. But then I agree with you on the villain side. I don't like that as much. So do you agree with that?
That's really split because it's such a great motivator for a hero and such a terrible one for a villain.
Do we give it at least a B though, because it does it so well in some cases?
I think so.
We have to.
If it wasn't for the villain side of it, I would actually probably put it into S tier.
Yeah.
For just the hero side of things, but because it's done so poorly with villains, I think B is good.
With you, and I hate it. I hate that I'm with you. Do we put this where above jealousy, below jealousy, in B tier?
Above jealousy.
Above jealousy. Yeah, okay, right below honor. We'll leave it there. All right, the next character motivation is I just want to be normal. If whether they're a privileged kid, rich, whether they're royalty, or whether they have these powers, or...
This is a mixed bag. Sometimes it works. I think more often it doesn't.
I'm going to go out on a limb here. Now, I'm not thinking of every story that comes to mind. I'm going to say this is our first F, maybe.
Really?
Yeah. I could be convinced otherwise. If you, like, I can't think of examples of...
Well, first thing that I'm thinking of is that exact example was Wheel of Time. Rand and all the others.
Okay.
That and it's in that specific book, it's kind of a poor motivation, but it gets like honestly as a series overall, it gets better over time.
Got it.
But beyond that, there's someone like Rogue from the X-Men, which I think is far more compelling because they have actual reason to want to be normal. Like anyone they touch dies.
Oh yeah, that is done well. Yeah.
They like honestly, it's the funniest thing is when Storm is talking like hey, there's no need to fix you. You're perfect just the way you are. And just Rogue is there going like, I kill anybody I touch. Please, for the love of God, fix me.
Yeah.
Like, yes, she should be fixed.
Okay, that's no longer F tier for me. That I do like that quite a bit. But do we like it enough to put it into C tier?
What's another one? Another good or bad one?
I really can't think of many examples because I think that's a perfect example for I want to be normal. That is a perfect demonstration of that. But whereas Wheel of Time, Wheel of Time, if we're talking primary motivation, like their motivation at the beginning is Rand doesn't know he's different at the beginning. Maybe eventually that is something that comes
up. Well, even
up.
then, the entire time is like, hey, they're talking about all these grand things. Like, no, I'm a shepherd. I am a shepherd. I am a shepherd. I'm not any of it. I'm not doing these adventure stuff. I want to be a normal shepherd boy.
Got it. Okay. That makes sense.
So beyond that, yeah, normally it's not as interesting. I guess it can't be done well. Yeah. C tier. Below justice.
Below justice? Okay. I just want to be normal trope. Or not trope, but character motivation. All right, next one. Indebted. The indebted motivation. So you owe someone something. Now it could be someone saved you. and now you have to, you owe them a favor, got to save them. Happens quite a lot. Or it could be actual money that you owe them a lot of money, and your ass is on the line.
I can think of far more fun examples with this than negative.
The first that came to my mind.
Which one?
I hope you've seen this, but Uncut Gems.
No.
You haven't seen it yet?
I have not seen Uncut Gems.
Did I sound like that?
What do you mean? You just said Uncut Gems.
I did not know. Like, when you looked at me so seriously, that was so... I had no idea. Like, I know we say random things at times. I did not expect that. Uncut Gems. Well, did you see Uncut Gems? Did you see it?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so you haven't seen it. It is not going to spoil what the movie ends with, but everything, but it's such an anxiety-filled movie, and I love it so much. You will be sitting there for however, I think it's like hour and a half, 2 hours, but the entire time, you want the movie to end. You just want this over. You want it over because Adam Sandler's character owes money to, he has a gambling addiction and owes money. He's just in deep, deep shit. And you're like, it's just, he's got a family. He's ruining that. And it's a phenomenally done tonal movie where the tone is just anxiety filled and it's gripping. But that is a cool way of doing Indebted. But what example came to mind for you of someone owing someone something?
Oh, the first one is when the villain, or more so the antagonist, is indebted to the hero, and out of the woodwork comes the antagonist and saves the hero, and then just like, we're even now, we're straight.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah.
And that's normally, it's fun. I guess it's not super creative, right? But it's just a fun thing.
It works.
Also, all the side characters, like you got this, like this person is, like we have one character and then you have the side character that's incredibly skilled, and you're going like, why the hell is this person, why are these people together? This doesn't make sense. Like, why doesn't this person just go off because they have far more talent and skill?
Yeah.
Why are they wasting their time? And then you realize like, oh, actually they're indebted to it. They're fulfilling their debt before they move on.
Gotcha.
It's fun, I guess. I'm thinking, though.
Let's say it at the same time. Say the letter at the same time. You ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
D.
B. We disagree.
Finally.
So you say D, I say B.
I was thinking top of D.
Okay, I think we meet in the middle at C then. It only makes sense.
Bottom of C. Okay.
Let's go middle of C.
The negotiator.
Right in between these. Let's go right below Justice. It's ahead of I Just Want to Be Normal. Come on now. It's more. Yeah. It has more fun moments than that.
That is true.
But don't worry, we have our first S tier next. The character motivation of revenge.
S.
Goddamn bloody damn tier. Yes, S. Let's do it. Revenge is just amazing.
It's the best combination of all the stuff you want with Justice, with more of the intrigue of jealousy. Because like jealousy is getting in the way of your problem and all that. So revenge is often like they have normally a righteous goal, but they go about it in such a terrible way, and you just see like they're destroying their own lives to accomplish a goal. And that's always incredibly interesting to read and fun.
Yeah, and the revenge, like you say, could be unjust, and you see them go down this dark path, or it could just be very just. The revenge is just, and
it's so satisfying.
You're Russell Crowe in Gladiator. There's revenge in many dystopians. Red Rising, focus on vengeance. You have this revenge that you want to see him win so bad.
John Wick for shooting the dog.
It's just the villains are so bad you want to see that revenge pay off. Or on the flip side, like you said it perfectly, I won't repeat it, but it just works both ways.
Yeah, it's always a fun one.
No, it's awesome.
Actually, it works really well for a villain motivation.
Yeah.
It's one of the ones that it's understandable and yet is not justifying. Like where the author's not trying to justify their evil actions. It's like, oh, it's totally right all the way. No, it's like they're sought after revenge. And it's a way to write, I think a good way to write a compelling villain.
Good way to write a compelling villain? Is that what you said?
I was referencing a meme. You just want to insult me.
Oh, was that a meme?
Yes.
Oh, I had no idea.
Did it? Like that was one of the actresses there. She was talking about the movie. in an interview, and she said it funny. She said, "Uncut gems."
Oh my!
That's what she said.
That's okay.
I was referencing something. I didn't just say it weird. I'm not you.
I thought you were saying it because like, man, that's what you sound like right now, Austin. Oh.
No, I was making a reference.
You've called early in the pod. You called me little, and it's true, but still, so that was a meme. That wasn't at me.
Yeah, that was a meme.
I apologize for saying that.
No, you shouldn't.
All right, S tier revenge.
Yeah,
for sure. Then we have the next motivation is for love. Oh, it can be done very well.
It's either top of A or bottom of S.
Let's go. Because for love is broad. For love, it could be love of your child. It could be love of your spouse. You could be doing it for love. The way I kind of intended it here was for love for a relationship. That's where I was kind of going with it, but it could be for a lot of things.
I mean, how many times you see like the noble sacrifice and it's for love?
Yeah.
And it just always brings a tear to the eye.
But it's not better than freedom. Let's put it behind freedom. Honestly, behind it,
love is more important than freedom.
You have no love without freedom. Maybe that's probably not
love of country.
Let's go. Okay. I'll go ahead. Yeah. Because there's a lot more you can do with it. And if we were to list off stories with for love, we would be here all day. So, for love,
it's normally pretty easy to write into a story too, and it's almost always compelling. It's hard to do it poorly.
I think you can do it poorly.
Sure, you can do anything, but it's hard.
But yeah.
Like, you don't even have to write about the law. Like, you can have a simple character where they lose a spouse, and you don't even have to write the loss of the spouse. Like, that happened in the past, and it's referenced.
And it affects them.
Yeah. And then they do something, and that's for their love.
Good point.
That's not hard to write, and yet it's still pretty easily compelling.
True. Yeah, very true. Next one, loyalty.
What you lack.
What? Now, loyalty, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say S tier. I think it's our second S tier. Loyalty.
We're thinking the same character, right?
I'm thinking several right now.
I know.
You have to narrow me down.
Okay, let's list the one we're both thinking of right now. See if we're in sync here.
I got several.
The first one that comes to mind.
You're getting me a little nervous now. Hold on. We might not be thinking about the same character.
Oh, no, we're thinking the same one.
No, we might not be.
Ready?
No.
All right, we're going to go on.
Okay,
three.
Ready? Three.
One, two, three. Samwise Gamgee.
Yeah, Sam. Okay, we got it. Yeah,
no,
okay.
we're thinking the same.
I was making sure.
No. We got it. No.
I was a little nervous you were going Wheel of Time route. I was like, you forgot about your Lord of the Rings heritage.
You haven't read Wheel of Time. I do that.
I thought you were going to say someone like, because I was introduced to Loyal, and he seems pretty loyal. Like, Loyal's the character.
That's not, like, I don't think it justifies it in the first book.
No, it doesn't. It's Samwise Gamgee.
It's Samwise Gamgee.
Okay, I was nervous.
No, you shouldn't have been. That's of course. Like, that's the paragon of loyalty.
It is
Samwise.
And that's S tier. That's S tier worthy. You got the someone that would die for you. Come on. Someone that's with you every step of the way, that their loyalty knows no bounds.
It goes in S tier because it's what everyone wants.
Yeah.
It's what everyone wants in a partner, romantic or platonic otherwise. Like, that is just, it's the best.
It is. And one day, maybe.
One day we'll find it.
One day we'll trust each other.
Or one day I will convince you.
To what?
To trust me.
Oh, nice. Hidden agenda. That works.
Yeah, exactly.
Loyalty now above or below revenge?
I think below.
I'm with you. But that's those
mainly
two
because it's loyalty could be, you see it far more in the side characters and supporting characters. You do see it with main characters done well, but revenge is just a bit more compelling and all encompassing, a more fun plot.
That's good justification. And by the way, if you're still watching, go ahead and rank these and let us know how you think about our rankings. But remember, it's in the top of the description. And we got the next one. The next one is There's No Place Like Home.
All right, Dorothy.
There's no place like home.
Explain this one.
They just want to go back home. They're on this. They're taken out of their home, and their motivation is they want to get back. So the Wizard of Oz, she's taken in this tornado, and then comes back.
somewhere in D, I think.
Wheel of Time has this, doesn't it?
Yeah, but it's just not as compelling.
It's not the it's not the most important. Well, not important. I shouldn't say important. It's not. It's
important in the first book.
It's not the most interesting.
Yeah, no, because motivations in the Wheel of Time evolve in different ways, and I mean, I can't spoil anything for you. I'm trying to think of because they evolve in a very interesting way where it's.
I gotcha.
Fine. I can't actually talk about Wheel of Time with you, and it sucks.
But I'll give you complete power on where we put this one. There's no place like home, as long as it's not in S or A, because I don't.
Bottom D.
Bottom D sounds good. So our lowest one so far.
I think so.
We have yet to find an F tier, or a Game of Thrones season 8 tier. We still got plenty to go. You ready?
Yeah.
We've got Thrillseeker. The motivation is they just want it for pure thrill.
Honestly, I think in an A. They're far more fun.
Something's really strange. So with tropes, we disagree. With a lot of tropes, we've had disagreements.
Yeah.
These tropes can go a lot of directions. Every single one so far, I am on the same page with you.
That's weird.
What is it about character? Let us know if we're crazy. Are character motivations universally? We all have the same. I mean, I'm taking a sample size of 2 and thinking everyone agrees, but
I mean, again, just us.
Yeah.
We are the authority.
Yes.
And everyone else must follow.
Thrillseeker, A.
Yeah. No, it's always the most fun.
Let's go.
Top?
Maybe. Now, For Love is ahead of it. Let's go right below For Love.
I agree.
But Thrillseeker is just it's fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
Because and how will they react to that thrill?
Oh, yeah.
Which direction do you go?
How entertaining is it when the character is beaten down, bloody, or in some type of fight, and they just put a big smile on their face because now it's gotten hard.
Oh, we're going above For Love. Oh my! I got chills.
I got
chills.
Oh God, that is the most fun aspect of a fight. Is when the thrill seeker, it is such a fun character motivation.
Hell yeah!
Can be creepy. I'm thinking.
Oh my! I want to go S tier.
Just for people, he hasn't watched it, but Hisoka from Hunter x Hunter, he's a thrill seeker, and it's very creepy, but very entertaining as a character. One day you'll watch Hunter x Hunter.
Did we go S tier with this? I'm just thinking about it now.
I think so. It's always fun.
We got to. Yeah, S tier. We'll go below loyalty. Maybe change it later, but
yeah, I think so.
That is just so good. For the villain and hero. Doesn't matter. It's just great to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Next one we have is Greed.
Now, I'm just going to throw this character at you.
Throw me.
Greed.
From Full Metal
Alchemist.
Greed's the best of the homunculi. Is that what they're called, right?
Yeah.
Homunculus?
He's one of the best characters in the whole show.
He really is. And
however, as a character motivation, have you ever seen it done amazing other than that character?
Mr. Krabs. We've got Mr. Krabs, and we've got Full Metal Alchemist, and we've got mostly the greed comes from these side character merchants, or it's a small villain, the mini boss. Yeah, the underling that is too greedy, or the greedy noble, or the villain. The villain. It's normally the piss poor villain. If your main villain's motivation is greed, it normally sucks. If your mini boss villain is greed, because then they'll fall, and then you got the big villain. Yeah, I think that alone says C. I guess so. Top of C? Ahead of Justice, because it can be maybe compelling with Greed from Full Metal Alchemist. That's the one character I'm giving it. Wait, no, let's go below Indebted, because Indebted's more interesting. Yeah, I agree. Okay, next one we have is Patriotism. For thy country. Thing is, this is the most fun to, I think I'm pretty patriotic. I like the 4th of July. I'm a big fan of it. However, in writing and in storytelling, it's far more interesting to see the negative side of patriotism, because there's actual conflict. So seeing a character that is patriotic for their country and then sees some other country doing awful things, and so it's their own sense of morality competing with their sense of patriotism.
That's a very compelling story.
Yes.
It's not very fun if the country's like all hunky dory and they're patriotic for their country and they have good reason to be. And it's like, yay! Like, okay, there's no conflict there. It's not that fun.
Right. Would you even consider patriotic for? So if we're thinking fantasy worlds instead of country, could it even be for like a city? Could you be patriotic towards your city, toward your band? Does that count as the same thing, or is that a different character motivation?
It's a worse version of For Love. Because imagine like the character doing the last stand because they have a sense of patriotism and they want to save their country and they want to defend their own and defend their people. That is worse than the scene of the person having the last stand and they look down and they see a picture of their loved one or their child, and then for them.
Way better than looking
that's
down
way
and
better.
looking at a flag that
yeah, that's not as fun.
Yeah, that's fair. But Mel Gibson would disagree. I think Braveheart and The Patriot would disagree. We've got
thing is, it is done well, so I think somewhere in B.
Okay, let's go above Seeking Happiness or Purpose, below Jealousy. Okay.
Things like Braveheart and all that.
Yeah.
It shows that it can be done really well.
Then we've got Seeking Power as a character motivation. I think this is going to be a quick one. Seeking Power is just plain D.
Yeah.
Maybe even F. No. Okay. It's done everywhere. It's not like it's it doesn't distract from the story. It's just a part of a lot of stories. So it's not special.
A part of everything.
You don't see that. You don't see Seeking Power and go, "Oh, this is different." So I'm not saying it's bad.
Thing is, it's more fun when a hero is seeking power.
Power, yeah.
Like, honestly, I'm thinking of several different stories, like with Golden Sun. I'm thinking Wheel of Time most especially. There's
it's everywhere.
It's everywhere. But it's far more interesting when a hero is has an ultimate goal and is going, and part of that goal is seeking power through the system.
Yeah, right. Red Rising, right.
It's really interesting.
With the seeking power, typically, like 90% of the time, villain side.
Yeah. D. Yeah. If it's just villains,
put a top of D just for the sake of it. It's everywhere. It's not bad. It's just nothing special. We got another S tier. After this, I'm retiring.
Oh my god, the biggest death flag ever.
That is S tier.
And yet somehow it works.
It always works. Where you just
But every time you see it, you're like, no, he's gonna die.
You know an example of it actually? That it wasn't amazing. Sorry, Brian. But with In the Shadow of Lightning.
Yeah.
Brian McClellan, we interviewed him on the pod. But good book.
Yeah.
Not a bad book at all. But that character motivation was in there for Idrian. Remember?
Yeah, that's true.
So I didn't love it in that situation. However, I do love the character motivation in general.
What's another example you could give?
Good point. What's one to the top of my head that I can name?
After this, I'm retired.
After this last job, I'm retiring. It's a lot of military.
It's honestly more made fun of. It's one of those tropes that you see in pop culture where people make fun of it.
I guess I was conflating it with
when someone says, "After this, I'm hanging up these. I'm going home. I'm starting up a family. I'm opening up a shop when I get home after this." It's like, don't say that, dude. You're gonna die. Like, they make fun of it.
I'm conflating it with the coming out of retirement.
Yeah, that's great.
Because I'm thinking, and I won't say which character, but in Red Rising series again. I mean, we're referencing it a lot, but you know who.
That's great.
Comes out, that it works. But that's coming out. It's not going into. You're right. Okay, I need to walk my S back.
I'm thinking F, in all honesty.
Okay, not that bad.
It's almost always just. It kind of spoils the death of the character.
What a 360 from us going S to F.
Yeah. Think about that.
After this, I'm retiring.
Which character's death would be there's plenty that if they said that and spoiled the surprise of their death, it kind of ruins it. Of course, I'm not going to give an example because it's spoilers.
I'll toss one at you. Does this count if after this I'm retiring of Mad Max Fury Road? Does it count? Of he's on this, he's doing this last thing and then walks off into the. Does it count?
I don't think so.
I'm trying to pull a stretch here to get it out of F, I think.
No, it's more just, I guess he's not even really retired. He's just doing his thing and he's caught up in a mess.
Yeah.
There's no like...
I tried to save it. I guess I'll go, F.
I think it's our first F. It just spoils the surprise of a character's
Someone
death.
in the comments, let us know if there's some good stories that do this that we're missing out. Because, I can't think of any top of head. Next one is righting a wrong, and that's pretty much justice.
But it's better. It's more personal.
Let's just put it right ahead of justice.
I guess so. But when I think about righting a wrong, it's more specific to a character. It's far more of a personal morale. Like, yeah, I just like it a lot more than justice, because justice normally implies an actual legal system and law, and that's good for the real world, but it's not really motivating for a story.
Right.
Versus a character that has seen a wrong or has experienced it, and now their purpose is to right that wrong. It's normally pretty good.
Wait, it's like Gran Torino.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Okay.
It's a lot better than justice.
A tier?
I think so.
Above freedom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, freedom's going to slowly slip down to C.
Freedom falls. Next one is scientific curiosity. That is awesome.
I genuinely really love it. Now, okay, a lot of readers I know don't like this because it's their most boring part of the book for some people. And it's my favorite part.
Oh, you're thinking the light part. So you're thinking Stormlight.
Yeah.
You're thinking Stormlight where it's exploring magic system.
Yeah.
And that curiosity, the first thing that came to my mind was the evil curiosity of the
That's also a great
we'll go
one.
through any means to test something. A lot of dystopian worlds, a lot of experiments, and basically
the best one, Jurassic Park.
There you go. I mean, yeah. I don't know if it's best, but okay. Well, so Jurassic Park.
Well, I mean, it's the most classic example.
Yeah.
You got the, we've spent too much time thinking if we could. We didn't ask if we should. Something like, yeah.
So with scientific curiosity, that really works.
Yeah. Because it's normally a negative, because science is gross.
What are you thinking with this? A, at least. Above freedom again. Push freedom
Above
down.
freedom.
Yeah. All right, next one. This is a repeat. I'm sorry. Seeking purpose. Let me. We'll put that right above seeking happiness or purpose, because purpose is better.
Yes.
There you go. So put it right there. Then we have survivor's guilt for a character motivation.
Ooh.
That can be very intense. And what's something that comes to
like
mind?
it.
Yeah, what comes to mind for you for survivor's guilt?
First law.
First law. Okay.
Like, it's a lot of that. That's a lot.
Okay.
Oof.
Another A tier? Survivor's guilt is
Stormlight is probably the biggest.
Oh yeah, that's huge in Stormlight.
That's an entire character's motivation. It's like
very early on in Way of
right
Kings.
there.
Yeah. Okay, we can do. Yeah, that's high. Survivor's
there's
guilt.
Plenty of good ones.
Survivor's guilt really works.
I'm thinking top of B or
Push
bottom of A.
Push to A.
Okay.
Let's go bottom A with that. And the next one here, you are very guilty of this. Seeking attention.
I don't seek it. It just normally comes to me.
I knew you had something stupid to say. Now, seeking attention, basically what this entire channel is all about. Watch us. Watch, listen. Listen. Watch. So, let's rank it Game of Thrones tier. Since it's self-reflective of us. No, not actually. I'm joking. Where do you think it should go?
I'm trying to think of a good one.
Seeking attention.
Normally, it's a fun negative.
Mean Girls?
I guess so. It's a good movie.
I hate how good the movie. I love it.
It's a really good movie.
It's a really good movie. I don't hate how good it is. It's just it's just so good. It's great. What do you think?
Top of D.
Top of D.
Yeah.
Okay. Why not? I'm with you there. Now the next one is the protect those I love.
That's just generally good.
It is.
Though, isn't that just the same kind of where we have like for love?
Yeah, that's so. When I was saying earlier for love, I was thinking that more for a relationship, like romance, I was thinking. In this one, I was looking at protect with your life. So we can put them same since I kind of conflated them a bit.
Okay, fair enough.
Would you protect me if, like, let's say something happens and then, we're at war, we're at battle together and we're going bang, bang. I take out 3 guys. You take out 1 because, you're having a rough time over there. But the 4th guy clips me. I go, Richard, tell my mother I love her. And my dad. Sorry, Dad. But then you go and you say, Austin. What do you do?
I'll be honest, that's heavily dependent on how much of a financial asset this channel is, because that's really kind of linking everything together.
I really respect that.
That's if this channel's making us money, like, I'm protecting my financial
assets.
You are at a significant portion of this asset, and I'm protecting you. If it's not, maybe I'm cutting off a debt, a money hole.
That's a great explanation. I like that.
Unfortunately, I just kind of see that scenario of you having to drag me back because I've just gone feral. For some reason, that's how I see things going. Is we'll be fighting, and then you'll be calm, cool, and collected, and you'll just see me ripping apart, just going crazy. And
Rishi, stop eating his leg. That's a good guy. That's an innocent child, Richard. Stop.
I could see myself going nuts on a battlefield. Yeah. I'd go cuckoo.
You got that John Gwen type of style. You look like John Gwen. I don't know. I haven't read his books yet, but he's got that Viking, just badass. Yeah.
I could see that.
All right. The next one is Inspirational Insult. Do you know what I mean by this?
Is that when you told me that I'm not inspirational to look at or aspire to? And because that inspired me to be a little bit better after I eat a tub of ice cream.
That's exact. So I didn't even think of that moment when putting this in here. Yeah. I was looking up lists of character motivations. This came up and I went, so it's basically, you got it. It's someone insults you and it cuts deep and you're inspired. So listen, Rich, I'm just trying to help you when I make fun of you. That's all I'm trying to do. But I like that a lot.
It's normally you see it out of spite, I'm gonna prove them wrong.
Yes,
that's always the line.
Yeah,
I'm gonna prove them all wrong.
Right.
You see that in more of an unjust society. If everyone looks down on the Reds, everyone looks down on District 13, everyone looks down on name an oppressed people in a fantasy novel or realistic novel, and it's
their entire people are insulted.
Yeah, and
you are lesser.
I will prove them wrong.
Yeah,
that's a great one.
That's great. I almost want to go S tier. I do want to go S tier, right below Thrillseeker. It deserves that. Let's do it. Inspirational Insult. Wow, yeah, that really works. Okay, next one. We have living out your childhood dream.
That's a weird one. For a story? For a character motivation?
Yeah.
Name an example.
Big?
I guess. I just don't see it that often because it's not that fun.
Why are you why are you accusing me of a crime?
Because
I put it on the list. Kill me.
I'm trying to think what's interesting about this one.
Well, how about phrase
justify it to me? Listen, you're the one that put it there.
I saw a list, okay?
Oh, so you just copied.
Okay, I used 3 lists and I combined. I did what all writers do. I took inspirations from different lists and packed it in this.
I'm going Game of Thrones season 8 just because of you.
We can't do that to this one. Is it that bad? Living out your childhood dream? As a motivator? Okay, hold on.
Okay, here's the thing. We've been thinking in the vein of fantasy action.
We are.
Serious. But as just a fun, lighthearted thing.
Oh, Mr. Dean, maybe? The Adam Sandler movie. You know what I'm talking about? Mr. Deeds.
Mr. Deeds.
You remember that? Does that count where he gets a bunch of wealth from his uncle that dies? And he kind of just spends all that money, and he's a really nice guy, and he just lives out, he just spends it on stuff, and I
guess that's Richie Rich. It's the audience is kind of living out their childhood dream of being super rich and a kid and spending money on stupid things.
All right. We gotta save it. We gotta save that Game of Thrones season 8. You're insulting.
Bottom of F.
Bottom of F.
Bottom of F.
Let's do it. Bottom of F here. Okay. I'm fine with that. The next one, lust as a character motivation.
I like it, actually.
You like lust?
Generally, it's a good motivator, and it's almost always relatable, but it's typically a negative trait. Unless you're reading some romance novel, then it's typically a positive trait. But often in the stories that I read, like with fantasy and sci-fi, it's typically lust is something that gets in the way of their ultimate goal, or it's a tool used by an antagonist to trick the hero. That's typically what it's used for.
As a motivation, how does that work? Lust I see as a tool quite a bit. Yeah. So Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson, lust is used as a tool to show Light Song. In that Light Song, I won't say where he goes in that, but it's a tool that's used. But lust as someone's characters, their drive is lust. You know what I mean? They're just kind of hedonistic.
It's good for comedy.
Okay. Yeah, if we're thinking broad, just stories.
Like thinking about Barney Stinson from How I Met Your Mother. He's the funniest part about the show.
Joey from Friends. So it works in sitcoms.
It works in sitcoms pretty well.
Okay.
But other than that...
Just a C tier.
Yeah, I think so.
Let's throw it below Justice. And below Indebted as well.
Yeah.
Okay. The next one we have Everyone's Babysitter.
Explain that one.
I love it. It's so Everyone's Babysitter, as in this character's motivation is to everyone's getting into danger. They're trying to keep everyone safe.
Oh.
So biggest example,
like
Stranger Things, where Steve, he's assigned the babysitter role. Like all the kids are going around. Steve's just got to go, get in the car. Let's get back. No, don't go there. He's being that protective older brother.
Moraine and Nynaeve in Wheel of Time.
There you go.
I love Nynaeve.
S tier or top of A?
Top of A.
Top of A.
Top
locking
of A.
In. Now this next one is love interest.
That's their character motivation is
their motivation is the person they're in love with, like their love interest.
Generally pretty compelling. I mean, I don't see anything wrong with that.
Like your wife, your husband, that is your drive.
Or the love interest you don't have yet and you're trying to obtain them.
Let's put that in the bees. They're so similar
in a very possessive way. I mean,
let's put that in the for love, protect those I love. It's very similar.
I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's just throw that in the middle of those. Now the Freudian excuse.
Got something to tell me?
What?
When I think Freudian excuse, I'm just thinking something real weird with mothers. That's Freud right there.
So this one was actually, that is a Freudian thing. This is an excuse for similar to one we did. Where's the other one we did? I'll have to find it again. Hurt in the past. It's similar to hurt in the past. The Freudian excuse is you're doing something evil because of past trauma. The excuse is like, hey, I'm doing this because I was abused as a kid. Or I'm doing...
Game of Thrones, season 8.
It's the same as hurt in the past, pretty much.
No, but that you're telling me exactly that's for that can be hero and villain. Freudian excuse is very much like villain.
Just villain. Yes, you're right. Our first season 8. You're correct because it can't work for the hero.
It just doesn't work. Yeah,
got it. Because it's making an excuse for actions. Can't be excused.
It's excusing an evil person's actions because they were hurt in the past. Which is
Game of Thrones
never works.
Game of Thrones season 8 locked in. Took us long enough to get one in there.
Finally.
Next one is a particular collector.
I like them. They're quirky.
They're fun. Aren't they? Let's just go solid A.
Nah, not that much. I don't love it that much.
Too late. It's an A. All right, next one.
A is too big. It's getting too big. You pop it down one. Put it in B.
Ready? Rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah, fine.
Ready? Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. 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 Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Finally.
That's not even possible. Someone look up the odds of that.
I'm just real good at rock, paper, scissors.
Good. We both suck if we just tied 8 in a row. Okay.
Not if I'm cheating.
So top of B, you said? Particularly, and that's just cool.
It's fun.
Collects things, quirky character. The next one is no motive. They're a psychopath.
S. It's the most fun villain.
Yep. I'm thinking The Boys.
The Boys.
I'm thinking No Country for Old Men.
Hisoka from Hunter x Hunter again.
A lot of
No Country for Old Men is a great one.
Come on, just straight Psycho. Psycho the movie, and then you
Psycho,
got,
yeah. God, go through a list like
just Demented and I keep referencing this the whole time, but Red Rising is a psycho character.
That's true.
But probably has more motive than I understand at this point in the story. But let's go S tier. Do we go above Thrillseeker?
No.
Okay. Above
like
Inspirational Insult.
Yes.
Okay, we'll go there. The next one is the Hedonist as a character motivation. Whether that is just self-pleasure seeking, they are just there for the quick happiness. It could be drugs. It could be an addiction. It could be...
I'll say it's actually the one character I think about where it's just so well done for me is a character in First Law Trilogy. And it's clearly a negative, and seeing them grow from that point. Like, that's their starting point, is a hedonistic motivation.
Their motivation is to get out of the hedonism.
Yeah. And it's really good.
That's awesome.
It's so fun.
Isn't there a character in Lost as well?
In Lost? The TV show?
Yeah. Isn't there?
I'm assuming so. Man, it's been so long since I've seen that show.
I've only seen the first season or first couple episodes where the guy was a drug addict, right? And he was overcoming his addiction. Wasn't that part of it?
I don't remember, in all honesty.
But I like, as the hedonist, I guess you can put it in that category. I don't know if addiction...
It's something to overcome.
Right. Is hedonism and addiction the same, though? I shouldn't probably conflate them.
I don't think so.
Hedonism is more...
Addiction often is that negative sense and can be shown as someone who is addicted and wants to overcome it, or it's generally seen as...
They don't want to.
Yeah, it's...
Right.
Something,
the hedonist wants to. The hedonist is going out and going, hey, I'm self-pleasure seeking.
Yeah, it's giving in to all that. It doesn't really see it as a problem, and normally seen as this kind of gluttonous...
Right.
You typically see it with like the rich hoi polloi people in fantasy novels. Typically how you see it, like the nobles are almost always hedonistic.
Right. Whereas the addiction is... you want to get out of it, or if your character's growing,
or you don't see a way out of it, and it's just part of, yeah.
So I don't think it's the same. You think
above Lust in C.
Above Lust in C, below Indebted.
Yeah,
I'll join you there. And the next one we have is Seeking Friendship.
Porrito.
Puss in Boots 2.
Puss in Boots 2.
Yeah.
All because of Patriotism, I have to bump it up a whole tier. Let's
go to A tier.
Yeah.
Right. Let's go bottom.
Everyone's seeking friendship.
Why not? Right.
It's just good.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. And there's also, this next one was also directed towards you. It's lazy and lacks motivation as a character motivation.
See, I'm not lacking in motivation. My motivation comes in waves. At like 3 a.m.
You have the strangest work time management where you'll do nothing for 2 days and then you'll solve the nuclear codes in 2 hours. I've never seen someone get done as much in a short time span as you do.
Yeah.
I am jealous of it. The envy here, that is a quality of yours. I'm just like, how?
If I could just figure out that switch and turn it on all the time, I would be a ruler. But I would have authority.
You'd be so successful.
Am just so... It only comes on occasionally.
Have you figured out what triggers it? What gets you into that? Just, I'm doing stuff.
Typically, it's a bottling of frustration. Like I'm thinking like the simple example of like cleaning stuff, and where I'll be walking around and there's just something off. And I'm just like, I'm tired of looking at that in the wrong place. And then that snowballs into me just I clean my entire apartment at like 2 a.m. on a random Tuesday. And I'm just like, I'm scrubbing, and I'm like, well, I'm already in it now. I'm just getting everything done. Or when you were gone for a weekend and I just did everything. I put up a new storage system. I fixed a door. Went out to my car. I got everything done.
The house.
It was great.
Somehow you did everything inside, and the outside of the house looked different. It was glowing. It was just this radiation of happiness. So, but as a motivation for a story, lazy and lax motivation, where would we put that? Now, I'll start. Because, you've been forcing my hand a lot. You've been saying stuff and I've been agreeing. I want to see if you agree with me.
Generally, yeah. That's how things go.
I was going to say C tier. I think it's fine. And I can't think of the thing that makes it interesting is if it's a character that is The Whale we watched. Remember The Whale recently? But it has that trope. Yeah. I'll get rid of saying tropes, but lazy and lax motivation of you then want to do something with your life. That's the twist of, hey, I'm going from doing nothing to, I got to make myself better.
I'm actually thinking specifically of a character in Eric. From Discworld. Okay. Where, honestly, I don't think this is, spoiler alert, I don't think this is a really important spoiler, but spoiler for that book. I don't think you would care that much.
Okay.
But in the book, there is a parody type character of Odysseus. And the parody of it is he's actually really lazy and cowardly. And he just wants to go home. He doesn't want to go to war. He's sick of it all. And so because of that, he's really tactful and actually uses interesting strategy to win the war and win battles. While everyone else just wants to have a battle. And he's like, no, because if we do that, we'll be here all day and we'll be here months. I want to win so I can get to go home.
Oh.
And it's so interesting because it's seeing the lazy person do the cut corners and figure out the shortest, fastest way possible to get something. And typically it's a more creative route.
Would that count as there's no place like home trope or sort of the character motivation? Uh-oh.
Normally I see that as like whining, where the lazy, lax motivation can be seen as like, they figure out a fun, creative way to fix their solution in a really lazy way.
Okay. So with lazy, lax motivation, what are you thinking then? Oh, wait. I said I was going to toss it out there, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, C. I was thinking C.
I'm thinking D, but I can be convinced to C.
I'll put it C. Bottom C. Good. You said you like when someone takes authority.
Generally, yeah. I like when I take authority.
That's not someone. That's you personally. Then.
Yeah, generally. Yeah.
All right. The next one here is motive decay. You know what I'm talking about?
Where the person's motive is being questioned?
No. This is particularly the situation where the person's motivated, but throughout their journey and their story, they come to, like, the motivation, they forget why they started.
Oh, okay.
They're so far along now that the motivation they once had, maybe it's over... Stormlight does this this is the very first chapter this happens in Stormlight, so you don't have to click off of this. It's the prologue of where the king dies. Mm-hmm. And there's the war in the Shattered Plains where literally the motivation of the war has fallen. Of the motive of the war at first was to avenge our king. And now the motive is like, wait, why are we fighting this war? And then it turns into something else completely.
I guess it's interesting. I wouldn't even put it in A. I think highest it would go would be B for me.
I really like it. So, okay, good. We got a disagreement. Let's fight. It's time. I think it's cool that it shows the progress of a story of from point A. You had a reason and you could connect to it, whether it was vengeance is typically a good one to go off of, that revenge. Mm-hmm. And then it's been so long, that time has been so long that you forget the emotion you had back then. So many things have changed that you're now fighting for a different reason. You're doing something for a different reason. It's just a cool concept as a motivation and also what it does for the plot of the story. Come on, talk to me. Talk to me, Goose. Give me that A, Goose.
I guess it's fine. It's just not as intriguing to me.
Damn.
It's fine.
Do you want to pull out the rocks and the papers?
Sure.
All right. This is for A or B?
A or B.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Oh, wow, that was quick. All right. Top of B. Top of B, though.
Fine.
All right, the next one is rage, not revenge, rage. Their motivation is they are just an angry, bitter person.
For people watching at home, if you've ever if you know, you know. Logan Nine Fingers. Let's be here. Like, I'm going A.
Wow. Okay, I was gonna say S.
You know, you convinced me. I was being conservative with it. I was thinking you weren't gonna go. Yeah, no.
It says volumes about us that our top ones are like Revenge, Thrillseeker, Psychopath.
We're a bunch of dudes.
Rage. Yeah. Okay. Rage is going.
We're a bunch of dudes. Like that's of course. We have like lust and yeah, it is gonna be a C. I don't read romance novels. That's why.
Fair enough. I mean, that's an S tier right there. Rage is awesome.
Yeah. No, it's great. It's always fun to see like your hero go like fall into rage and like hurt those around them. It's just chaos and it's great.
It is great. All right, now next one is overcoming addiction. What do you think about this motivation? We kind of talked about.
I always love it.
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit with the hedonist one. I conflated them too much. This is separate.
Yeah.
So with this, you always love it. Where do you love it most? What do you love about this motivation?
Well, it's normally you go into kind of fantasy or fiction to escape reality, and normally you want to get something from it that you don't have in real life, and something that's very hard to overcome in real life is overcoming addiction, and it's such a therapeutic thing to see and read others actually overcoming it.
We can all relate to it.
Yeah.
I'm S tier again. I'm feeling really generous with the S tier. It's just a phenomenal thing. Think about the addictions you go through in your life. Everyone relates to it. If you guys didn't know, Richard's addicted to hardcore cocaine. I was going to go 3 different directions. Could have went anywhere. Like, he needs to stop.
Oh, God. By the way, a joke, please.
Yeah, no, he doesn't do cocaine. Just heroin. All right, so with...
You bastard.
But with addiction is serious and real, and we all relate to it in a different way. Obviously, it really works because you can connect to it, even in the smallest of ways. You might not do hard drugs, but you can relate to the hard drug person because of other things.
And when a person actually does overcome the addiction, and normally it's like a certain moment. Like, it's never fully overcome, but it's a moment of they have a choice to make, and they actually put it aside, and they overcome their addiction for a certain moment, and it's more normally kind of like a monument to how far they've come. That is almost as thrilling as a really great battle sequence.
It's so
like the
it's
glory
meaningful.
moment. Oh yeah.
It
is a battle, and when you see them win that battle, it's so satisfying.
Well, that internal struggle is way more compelling than even an external struggle can be.
Yeah.
And that's why I think Revenge is our top one right now. Revenge is so compelling because it's an internal struggle as well. It's not just killing that person. It's going how it affected you. Overcoming addiction is great.
I'm thinking below Thrillseeker, above Psychopath.
I'm with you. Yeah, let's put it right there. We got, look at our list. We have a lot of S tiers, only one season 8 of Game of Thrones. Look at us. Are we just nice?
I think you just got a good list. Like, your last list was pretty crap.
You had to stop yourself.
I censored myself real quick there.
Well, with this list as well, maybe there's a difference of tropes are plot devices, and the things we love about stories are characters. And this one's focused on characters and the growth they go through. So a lot of the time when you think of your favorite stuff, it's like, yeah, I remember that character going from that to that. I like seeing that. I can relate to that. Whereas tropes, it's more distant.
And also, once you've seen a trope once, often it's not as fun the second time. They can get old, where I think character motivations doesn't get as old.
You can have 1,000 different revenge stories.
And they all have these slight variations where the farm boy trope, like, how many different versions can you see?
Right.
They're all about the same.
Yeah. Okay, the next one is just following orders as a motivation. You're probably your cannon fodder most of the time. I think this is a season 8er.
I think so, too.
Join me with that. It's just a bad motivation.
It almost always just sucks. It's never fun.
You're a caricature.
Yeah.
Like you're just there to follow orders. Now,
how many times have you heard that line? Like, I was just following orders. And like, okay. How many times? When has that ever saved the cannon fodder? Not once.
Right, not saved them once. And on top of that, it's more interesting if, let's say, the followers of a person, they follow him because maybe the person has power. There's a lot of power there. Maybe they're following out of fear. Maybe they love the leader they're fighting for. Maybe it's for their country, to protect their family. Just anything else is more compelling than I'm just following orders. I completely agree. That's bottom of bottom. Lowest?
No, above. Freudian Excuse, it annoys me way more.
I'll go with that, yeah. They're both horrible. So, okay. Next one we have is Revolution. Do you hear the people singing the songs of angry men? There is a song. Dun, 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 dun. We weren't going to keep going?
No.
Okay.
This is a long podcast. We can't keep going.
But I love that song. I love that song so much. So, Revolution?
Somewhere in A.
Revolutions are fun. No one dies. It's just fun.
It's always fun.
Yeah.
I can think of nothing more fun than the French Revolution. Nothing but good times.
Yeah, nothing bad happened then, right? Let's go A.
Actually, here's the thing that typically is a bothersome part of Revolution stories as like a main character motivation. Often, I tend to see it as the revolution is almost always right, and they kind of do very little wrong. Which is not as interesting. Like, you look at history, and it's far more interesting in a historical perspective of sometimes revolutions like get dirty, and how like are they even better than the regime they're overthrowing? And it's normally far more gray and interesting.
I mean, China has a fascinating history with that.
Yeah. And
all of Europe, Russia.
Yeah. Honestly, even looking at the American Revolution, the fact that what was it? How much was the percentage that actually agreed with separate?
1/3. It was I think 1/3 actually.
1/3.
Yeah.
That's just such a fascinating thing to think about.
Yeah, 1/3 of the American colonists were for the revolution.
It's honestly, it is hilarious just to think about how we separate because of of course, taxation without representation, all that. But the fact that the British raised taxes because they spent a fortune protecting us and, actually spending money to help us.
French-Indian
War. And they're like, hey, we spent a lot of money on you guys. We need to raise taxes to make that back because we have more war to fight with the French. And we're like, no, none of that. No more. Just, that's pretty selfish.
We named it, the Intolerable Acts? That's what it was.
Yeah.
And then we just,
and now
Revolution.
Now our tax rate's climbing up to 50%.
For you, you're that rich?
No, it's climbing. I'm climbing there. I may be on the lower rungs, but I'm climbing.
Look at that. Britain, we want you back. Revolution, what do you think?
C.
C. Top of C?
Yeah. Top of C.
Let's go below Indebted. I think Indebted is just interesting.
Okay.
It's just interesting. Yeah, Revolution's good. Take that out of context, right?
Yeah, just peel that out.
Then regret as a motivation. What do you think about this? Regret.
I typically find it more one note.
Oh, we actually have a serious disagreement now. Let's go. That's the first time you said something where I'm like, I don't think I don't entirely agree. So you say it's one note. Go on that. Oh, no. Now you're getting your whole... God damn it.
What?
I hate when you do that. It's like, oh, now I know there's a disagreement. Let me use all the knowledge I have just to shame him. Go ahead. What are you going to say?
I'll be honest. I could be convinced out of this one.
Okay.
But when I'm thinking of character motivation as just pure regret, it typically is almost soul-encompassing, where there's little left for there to be more parts of their character.
Okay.
I find it's not as compelling. I don't know why. It's really hard to actually put a pin in it. Honestly, maybe a good one to actually show a decent side of regret, it would be Annihilation, the book we recently read. For our book club of the month for Patreon.
You can't advertise it twice in the same one.
I can advertise it as many times as I
saw
want.
You were so sneaky. You did it after the first one we did.
Oh yeah.
You were like, all right, let's get this right in. So while the retention's still here,
I can advertise our Patreon as much as I want. It's ours. We can do it as many times.
Every single other line. Let's
yes.
do it. Regret for you were trying to pin it in with Annihilation. You like it there.
Yeah, because it's more secret. Like the character doesn't it's a unreliable narrator. Where it's like, oh no, it's not about regret, but it actually is.
I'll say one thing, and no spoilers on Stormlight, but Stormlight. So, giving no spoilers to Stormlight itself, I want to say this with regret. Regret also comes with a powerful motivation of wanting to become better. So typically regret, a motivation of regret is you regret what you've done in the past, so now you need to be a better person. That's huge.
I guess so.
That is powerful.
You're convincing me.
Hell yeah. You've become weak.
Where do you want to put it?
I really want to put it, I almost want to say bottom S. I love it that much. Here's the thing, it's another really, what were you going to say?
Oh, I'm just
You smacked your lips like you went, you were going to do something?
I was thinking Zuko from Avatar The Last Airbender.
Regret? Yep.
That's a great one.
One of my one of my favorite tropes in general is redemption. And
you can't really have redemption without regret.
Yeah. So it's can you have it without regret?
No.
Can you?
That's fair.
It's S tier worthy.
Tying it together with redemption. Yeah, fair enough. S tier. You've convinced me.
Honestly, let's go right behind revenge.
It feels like putting it there where redemption belongs right next to revenge.
Okay, we'll go bottom S. I at least got you up to S.
Yeah.
Let's do that. Okay. Next one we have is, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 left. Strap in.
Did we have to do 55?
No, we could have split it.
We could have
like 3 videos.
Done
we could have milked
10.
it. Yeah, we could have milked it.
We could have milked this.
Yeah. Man.
Why did you decide on the number 55?
I just like
That's a large number.
I like spending time with Red.
You know how many
Not
top
you, with Red here.
We could have done top
nope,
10.
No, you don't.
What?
No, you don't. You're not flipping them upside down. Nope. I did it for you.
Oh, okay.
There
good.
you go.
I'm just thinking, like, you always see top 10 lists, top 20. 55.
Right.
What gave you that number?
I feel like, here's the thing. I have a problem. That's what it just comes down to. I feel like algorithm-wise, it would work if we did, top 10 tropes, or, we could do that, or we could do a ranking
top 25.
10, ranking 20,
that
and
works fine.
Be a more compact video.
You could have done top 30, but no, 55.
Yeah.
What's with that?
And what's even worse is some of them kind of overlap.
Yeah, so I know. I've noticed.
Okay.
I've noticed the lack of quality control.
It's the only time I get to spend with you. It's like you're always.
We spend too much time together.
We really do.
We don't need more.
No, but I figure why not?
Fine.
My primary motivation for myself,
was
just, I don't want to give them a half-hour podcast. I feel like this one would be long enough, right?
Yeah.
It works.
30 minutes is not long enough. 2 hours, that's the right amount of time.
We might get there. That's a movie length. Should we go into our rant we did last time with getting off YouTube? No, we won't do that again. We'll hold back. Okay.
Right.
Oh, wait a second. This is kind of works into the next one.
Seeking approval. What we do basically every video.
Yes.
That is basically YouTube. In its
really
entirety.
is.
We are searching for approval
Attention.
from the internet.
Yep.
Attention, money, and approval.
You know what's funny about it too is it's not even funny. It's just endearing that the only approval you look for of all the comments is when your mom calls you and says how the episode is. It's very neat.
It is the best approval.
It isn't it? It's just, it's very, like when my mom watched him, my dad was just like, my dad for the first time said, "Hey son, I don't regret you this time." He's not even, I don't know why I try to put on an accent. He sounds like me. So That's an insult to him, actually. He sounds better.
See, I know the video is going to do poorly on YouTube
Mm-hmm.
when my mother gives me approval on it. For some reason, her interests and general audience interests they don't mix.
Yeah.
But because she's like, hey, you really need to do a video on like a Hitchcock film. And I'm like, yeah, I'd love to. We'll get 100 views on that, though. So we maybe have to pass. Or she'll like, oh, you should do a book on, the Arthurian legends or something. The old Robin Hood books. And I'm like, yes, Mom, but we got to do things that's current, that's up to date. We want to be successful.
It's endearing.
Yeah, it is.
So seeking approval is so the motivation for a character in seeking approval, it's usually the little brother or sister. And it's very cute. And that's what I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of I want to show my
the darker one.
No, don't. Why when I say children did your mind go dark? Why?
Well, because the motivation, when my first thought was where you're kind of see the parent-child relationship, but more of a negative route of where the parents are kind of poor parents and kind of abuse their children, but the child is constantly seeking their approval and does terrible things for their parents' approval, but it's never enough.
You said a lot of good things this podcast, and like you're doing good.
Thing is, that's exactly the motivation I have for the story I have that I want to tell.
Wow,
that's like right on the head. I think it's just a very compelling motivation.
Yeah,
and so interesting.
S tier. Screw it, S tier.
Yeah,
I'm with you. Let's go bottom S, or do you want to go higher? Yeah, below regret.
Below regret.
All right, that's awesome. All right, and the next one is pure amusement.
First thing I'm thinking of is Wit from Stormlight Archive.
Oh yeah.
It's generally fun.
It is.
It's normally a fun sidecar. I would say bottom of B.
Bottom B. Okay, yeah. Let's just toss it there.
It's not best, but it's normally pretty fun.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's fun and pure amusement. Can we go the more twisted route of the evil person that's just going, I'm doing
just
this for
generally
my pleasure. Kind of getting into a psychopathic type of.
It's typically that way, but yeah, that's normally fun. I would put it, for the villain side of things, it is more fun, so I'd put it higher.
Let's go
for the villain's sake.
Right below motive decay. I still can't believe that you beat me on that motive decay one, because I think that's so good. It's A-worthy. But what can I do?
Can't do anything.
My motivation's decayed of wanting to go higher.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do about it either.
No, there's really not.
You have no control.
All right, if we got the next one, I'll put it back. We got the next one is pure fear. Puss in Boots 2. Are you thinking Puss in Boots 2?
I was thinking Puss in Boots 2.
The motivation of Puss in that movie is just surreal.
A writer or director being able to invoke pure fear from a character, it is all the greater when they actually rise above.
Yes.
And mainly a villain that invokes pure fear is so good. That's the best type of villain.
Pure fear implies an evil and scary villain or threat.
It's just, that's normally the skill of the storyteller.
What if pure fear is the greatest person you fear is yourself?
I was actually just thinking, like, I know you made that joke.
What?
But,
that wasn't a joke.
Oh, first law.
Wait, you thought that was a joke?
Yes. Well, I thought you were a joke. And it just goes.
I was serious. Pure. Like, what if your biggest problem, like addiction? I was going that route of.
Oh, I'm thinking like in a more literal route is like first law.
Okay. No spoilers. No.
For you guys at home,
they know
that you know what I'm talking about. It's great.
But pure fear, of yourself and what you're capable of doing, that's scary. So I love it. I am feeling so damn generous today. Let's go S again. Let's go S. Like, how do you not love a pure fear? If you can evoke in the reader as well that character motivation of you feel scared like the character does. Damn.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I'm thinking of Hyperion for me. Like I was
Shrike.
terrified. Well, not just that.
The scenes.
The Shrike is scary. The pre-story, that's terrifying. Oh, God. That is pure fear.
That has to be... Yeah, we'll go S tier.
Okay.
Where do you want it in S tier?
Above Seeking Approval.
Okay. We'll go right below Regret.
Yeah.
And the next one we have is For the Greater Good.
The Greater Good.
The Greater Good.
You would know that that's a movie reference, right?
I assumed, yeah.
Do you know what movie?
No.
For you guys watching home, if you've gotten this long into the video, why don't you comment below that movie reference?
Well, say it again. Say it.
The Greater Good. Specifically that tone of voice.
What is that from?
You'll get there.
Let me know, commenters.
I want to see if anyone gets that reference. If anyone's on the same mental wavelength with me, comment that movie down below.
Well, of the greater good as a motivation, yes, it happens in a lot of things. I almost want to go F.
I agree.
Wow, we are on the same length.
It generally sucks. It's almost always negative.
Yeah, it's so poor.
And generally, it's so wide and encompassing where a poorer writer could write it where like they do these awful things and the villain's like, oh, well, I did it for the greater good. And it's like, all right. It's just kind of a catch-all and it allows them to do anything. And then it just never works. It doesn't work as a very compelling motivation.
The problem that I'm seeing, though, is it's so ubiquitous. You like that word? I like that word.
See, again, I don't see... Why are you just keep trying to seek approval from me? You're supposed to be seeking approval from them.
I know. I'm trying to make up for the coffee thing. I feel bad. Well, for the greater good, it's in so many stories. Thanos, technically, that we talk about, is doing it for the greater good. You have I'll throw out a 99% number of villains are... Okay, not of pure villains, but of sympathetic villains. Of people that the author is trying to get you to sympathize a bit with them and go, hey, it's for the greater good. It's everywhere, though. I think it's done well, and tell me if I'm wrong here. I think it's done well when the greater good is a sub-quality of what their other motivation is. So if they think it's for the best, but why do they think it's for the best? So I'm thinking the villain's looking at it like this: of it makes society's gonna. I don't want the society to crumble. I don't know. Sure. And so it is for the greater good, but when it's focused on something specifically and not just for the greater good, is that explained horribly? Help me out. Help me elaborate with this one.
I'll help you out with a bad example.
Yeah. Go. Okay. Let's go. What is it?
On paper, I like this more than I think it was shown in the movie. Spoilers for Across the Spider-Verse.
Okay, skip like 1 minute.
Yeah, skip like 60 seconds here. But Spider-Man 2099, his motivation, it's the whole thing is for the greater good. Like, let the character die for the greater good. However, what's the why? Because he lost his family, he lost his daughter, he lost basically an entire universe because of that.
Right.
And so he wants to do this not great thing for the greater good, but it's the why it happened that makes it more compelling.
The why, yes. You got me. Thank you. Yeah. Alley-oop. I appreciate that. So with the greater good...
All right, you're good.
Yeah, you're good. No more Spider-Verse. But
you can unmute now.
with for the greater good, then, I still want to put F. Because just that alone, if we're saying that alone with no extra sauce, gotta be F.
Basically
above after this, retiring maybe. Okay. Next one we got basic needs.
So you're Aladdin?
What?
Aladdin?
Explain.
Just wants to live. He's poor. Steals stuff.
Oh, yeah. Food, water, shelter. Yeah.
Is that, or are you thinking more of the survival thing where like, Tom Hanks?
Yeah, I was thinking more basic needs of, hey, you don't have...
Honestly, I love those.
Yeah.
I love those stories.
Yeah, pursuit of happiness.
Yeah.
So think of where, all of these motivations are coming from on the Maslow hierarchy of needs. Let me get all scientific. But with the, as humans and what our needs are, we're all thinking in the self-fulfilling, the self-actualization of that's our motivations. We have our food, our water, our shelter. What do we really want? What's our purpose? I want my revenge. This takes all that and goes, screw that. I need to survive.
I really love those stories.
Yeah.
I think it's almost always done in an entertaining way. It's very rare that that's done poorly. Yeah. Survivor, look at Lost, you look at all the desert island survival things, or
it's cool.
One of my favorite action movies of The Raid. The whole character motivation is just survive, live to fight another day. Just try and survive.
Let's go A.
It's so great.
Let's go A with that.
Yeah, I think so. Top of A, in all honesty.
Below everyone's babysitter because Steve. Do it for Steve.
For Steve.
All right, yeah. Next one is I'm bored.
That's their motivation?
No, I'm bored of you.
Yeah, that's fair.
But also the motivation is I'm bored. Their motivation is they are bored with life. They're doing their 9 to 5, and they wake up and just go, I've had enough.
So your Fight Clubs, your... There's a couple of them, but... Honestly, Fight Club alone.
I was going to say The Hobbit, but The Hobbit doesn't work like this because Bilbo is compelled. He's brought into this. He doesn't want to do these adventures, and he's not bored. He likes where he lives. But I'm trying to think of a similarity to that. I will say this. We have in my writers group, someone may be writing a story with this that I'm in love with. If they can pull this off, it'll be awesome. I'm rooting for him. But
Stephen Googlich's book.
Does it work? So, yeah, self-published author Stephen Googlich.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, he's compelled because kind of bored with his current life.
Yeah, there's an element of that.
There is. Like, it's maybe not the primary motivation.
Oh, it's enough. It's enough.
But it's there.
Yeah, let's give good old Steven a C at least. Want to go... can't think of many examples. Bottom C?
Yeah, that's true.
Next one is, I want to be beautiful. I want to be pretty.
This is where we'll maybe disagree. I think it's A.
Why would I disagree?
I would think you would. You wouldn't enjoy it as much.
I want to be pretty. I want to be beautiful. That as a motivation makes sense.
It's just normally compelling to read. It's almost always seen as a kind of negative thing, but sometimes can be a really uplifting thing. I'm imagining like kind of your rom-com movies and like the character just wants to be beautiful than they are, and it's like, oh my god, look how beautiful you are. It normally a good cheer moment, like, oh yay, look how beautiful.
Right.
But even then, like on your villain, it's normally a very fun motivation and something to look down on, I guess, because it's normally tied in with hubris and all that.
Yeah, and it coincides with the seeking approval. Yeah, as well. So would I want to be beautiful? You can have really endearing stories. Maybe you are self-conscious about a birthmark, about a deformity, I'm thinking of more nonfiction stories with this than fiction, actually, because we're kind of rating these in fiction, but there are nonfiction, just personal stories. True. Where it's very, very impactful. I'm thinking of even speeches by there's this speech that goes around by this man without arms or legs, and explains his story of like growing up. Like, imagine that, not having arms or legs, and it puts things in perspective. And the I want to be beautiful doesn't have to just mean makeup and I want to be pretty. I want to be like, I want to be a handsome dude or whatever. It can mean, hey, I was born different, and that those stories can be very stunning. So, what do you think? I'm with you.
Yeah, I'm thinking A.
Okay, let's do it. But you'll never be beautiful. Okay, next one is ride or die friend. Let's go, brother.
Man, I wish.
Oh, it's already on sad.
It's already on sad. It stays on sad.
Ride or die friend.
I'll be honest, the whole reason I did grab your hand, I was thinking to myself, like, how do I get my hand around this mic?
I have the convenient way of going.
You have
like
the convenient way. Like, I was about to do this, and like that's not.
Want to do it anyways?
That feels weird.
I'm gonna zoom in on that.
Yeah, it was
okay. Ride or die friend. We have loyalty as the second highest.
Yeah, I think it goes right there.
Yeah. I think
when we were putting loyalty up there, we were kind of thinking that exactly.
We go one higher because ride or die just sounds cooler.
Yeah.
Okay. Next one we got is It's Their Destiny.
Man, I only like it in one story.
Wheel of Time.
Actually, never mind. Lightbringer also does pretty well. Dang. But yeah, Wheel of Time. Wheel of Time is the main one.
It's basically your chosen one.
It's your
A lot of things happen in that. You have your Matrix. You have your every other story insert here. And I think it's fine. I'm going to override you with C.
No, I understand that.
Yeah.
In Wheel of Time, S. Everywhere else,
D. So
D.
Levels on a C.
Yeah, that's kind of my thought.
Want to go top of C with that?
You can put it wherever you like, because like Wheel of Time is the outlier.
All right,
I understand that.
I'm putting it below Revolution.
Okay.
We got 3 more, folks.
My God, you guys, you're still watching. You guys
chance.
got all the way through. That's impressive.
Your chance.
Either that or you have a very long car ride.
Yeah, that's also the case.
A real long commute in the morning.
Now, next one we have is, oh my God, this is an immediate season 8. Change the community for the better. How boring is that? That's just real life. No one wants. Season 8. We don't need that wholesome stuff. It's just compelling. I want to make the world a better place. Yeah, we all do. Shut up.
Thing is, it's better than making the world a better place. Changing your community is very endearing.
It is. Don't even convince me out of it.
How much of a slice of life type of story of like they just open a cafe and they're just trying to make the surrounding town around them better. And like, a person comes in, they need help, and they kind of fix the problem, and it's just wholesome niceness.
Give me a compelling example. I'll move it up.
I'm thinking the book. Oh, I'm trying to remember the book.
You got
name.
One?
It's Fantasy Latte Art.
I've never read it.
Oh, Jesus. I'm trying to remember it, but man, trying community for the better.
I can't think of much.
Yeah, it's kind of hard.
I
in
think
the stories we
well,
read.
here's the thing. I also think you're correct in those slices of life ones, but that's more nonfiction. It's more what?
I got one.
Ooh, tell me.
Mr. Rogers.
Does that count as a story?
It does.
It's a
TV show.
Mr. Rogers is the GOAT.
Mr. Rogers is the best.
Wait, Bob Ross.
He's also great.
Steve Irwin.
They're just trying to make the community a better place.
I want to go S tier now. I want to go. Let's go bottom D.
Fine. Mr. Rogers brings it up.
We had to stretch it though, because that's not really, that's not fiction. That's not what we're geared toward. But next one. Did I already have this?
Dream Job?
Dream Job? Yeah. I don't think we did. Dream Job.
Okay, look. It's probably more entertaining. We just don't read those type of stories.
Yeah, let's go D again. Bottom D, which
it's someone else's thing.
Just not for us.
It's just not our thing.
Last one.
Making parents proud.
Making Ma and Pa proud.
Now.
What do you think of that?
See, you could take that one or two ways. You can take it the positive route, like, the parents have noble goals, and then the negative side is like twisted parents who are trying to make them proud, and it's like not as good. So it good all around, I think.
A solid bottom A. Let's end with.
Yeah.
And wow, look at that, folks. We have our complete ranking, as you can see here.
Mm-hmm.
And you can also do your own ranking, like we said in the description.
Man, we were far more positive today.
We were so positive. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Yeah, I know. People come here for our negative takes, and us being just
really
negative Nancys, contrarians, just trying to seek out whatever's good in the world and just put it down.
You know how long this episode was?
How long was it?
Unspeakable amounts of minutes. Did you have fun? You had a good time?
I had a good time. You know what? I'm having an even better time.
What's that?
fact that I know that I don't have to edit this.
Yeah.
That makes this time the best time.
Well, guess what? Because you're my ride or die.
Again,
That's
my
why
arms
just
don't
bring
work.
your freaking arm around. Let's. Goodbye, everybody.